Hello and welcome everyone to another episode of the Culture Nerd Podcast. Guess what, everyone? We're back. It has been a long drought of about a month. Lots of stuff happened. We had some kids' birthdays. We had some school finals. Some worldwide crises happened, and I got the flu. So we had a lot of stuff happen. A lot of comic book stuff to talk about, and now we're going to talk about, I guess, the only thing we've ever been talking about lately is Superman and how every single day, as we get closer and closer to this film's release in about 3 weeks, we are seeing this movie breaking records. So it's safe to say that the DCU may be here to stay. So let's sit back, let's talk about it, and let's talk about those new rumors about Batman peeking in sooner rather than later. Here we are.
Let's jam.
Let's like always.
First and foremost, I didn't know you were sick. How are you feeling?
Well, I don't know. So I had my finals last week, and I had my grades were like I had a 4.0, a 2.5, and a 2.9, and I was like, I'm not gonna let this happen. I'm gonna crash through all of this stuff. I did every extra assignment. I redid everything. I did everything I possibly could. I stressed myself into getting the flu. And about Wednesday night, I was like, I'm dying. And then I had to call in sick for Thursday and Friday. And I was basically on bed rest until yesterday morning. And I ended up with a 4.0, 4.0, and 3.7. So I pretty much pulled those two way out of where I was expecting them to be, which is so great. But it did cost me my health. So that's where we're at.
Well, listen, your school deadline explains a whole bunch.
Yeah. Also, my kids got sick, and then my stress dropped my immune system down to where those little walking petri dishes just infected me with the plague.
See, I feel like my stress would let me get sick. I feel like the only thing I did was the No Kings protest, but I feel like my sign blocked all the germs away from me. Listen, I just want to. I'm so we do this show. And the show being what it is, I'm just very happy that you're here. I'm very happy I get to spend this time with you. There are so many ugly things happening in the world right now. Please, at home, freak out over whichever one means the most to you. That's important. But I'm very happy that we have this space and time to talk about cinema, to talk about Superman of all things.
Let's talk about some stuff. Also, Michael, you'll be pretty happy about this. I bought some Magic cards. I bought
you got
cards.
You got the Cloud card
and the Yuna. I thought those were pretty cool. I also, as I was going through this whole thing, I got a bunch of rando cool stuff. So far, my favorite one though is I got a misprint, and I was like, oh, a misprint. So I got this Vincent card, and the Vincent card is blackened out completely. The border is gone. The ink saturating is all the way coming from across. It's like they dropped the ink down to 1,000 and then just let it print.
That's the most Vincent fucking card I've ever seen in my life.
But
Taylor,
it's a
you
rare.
You got to send it in to get graded.
It's a flip card too, so it's got his thing on the back. So
you got to send that in to get graded.
I do. I'm just like, okay, this is pretty cool. I want to see it. I want to get this misprint graded and just
your misprint graded Vincent, or your misprint Vincent is very sick with all the black coming off of it. That's a very Vincent thing.
If any card that I would pull as a misprint, an oversaturated Vincent where it looks like he's crawling out of darkness is probably the most Vincent thing that could have happened.
Why do you like Vincent? So is it because he's a Frankenstein man? Is it because he's a monster guy? What about him out of all of the Final Fantasy characters? Because you've always loved him.
I always thought Vincent was a cool character. I mean, just aesthetically, he's a very cool design. He had like all the homages to all the horror movies. So, like all of his limit breaks were different beasts and monsters from like Jason and all that stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff. I just thought he was a cool design and a very kind of a tragic character when you learn about his backstory. So he's just a cool character. But I did, as you know from our entire childhood together, I always preferred Final Fantasy VIII. I thought that was a much better game, in my opinion, story-wise. It was also the only time Final Fantasy pretty much got to the point where you could be in like this world with dragons and stuff. Like, it was the most realistic Final Fantasy game they could have gone, even if it was unrealistic. Um, but I like that one a lot. I thought the worst thing about it was the combat system. But if they remade the game and gave it the Final Fantasy VII treatment and just redid the combat system, aces.
Do you think Square remakes 8?
Maybe. I mean,
we got the HD 9, right? The pretty version of 9. That's
we also got the pretty version of 8 too, where they redid all the sprites and re-released it, which is really nice. I play that, but for whatever reason, the last few days they've been celebrating a lot of Final Fantasy 8 stuff and all their social media stuff, and people are like, "What are you doing, Square? What's happening?" So fingers crossed. When we had long-standing rumors for like the last 2 years that a Final Fantasy 9 remake was in production, so why not just do I mean, back in what 2005, 2006, there was that actual plan that Square had to remake 7, 8, and 9 on the PS2 and basically give them the engine of Final Fantasy X and just make them better.
Yeah.
But maybe it just took 20 years and they just did it finally. So, but
well, that's listen, that's video game news.
That's video game news.
I watched the Hulk 2 versus Captain America. Taylor, it's boring.
I don't like it. I watched it. I saw it when it came out, and I watched it again the other night just to give it another shot. And I was like, maybe my sickly state, I'll enjoy this.
No.
It's one of those films that has a lot of good things on paper, but the execution was so poor and so choppy, and so it was like I can see why Marvel is struggling right now. Is that they're just trying to hit their deadlines and they're rushing things. They should have taken a little bit more time with this one.
All of it. The only storyline I liked out of the movie was the sidekick being like Icarus and pushing too hard, too fast. Yeah. But to try to be as good as him. All felt forced. Why are they driving anywhere in a Ford F-150 when they have flying suits? And also, right. Taylor, my problem with a lot of these movies, it's another guy in a robot suit with Wakanda tech. This is the same character. I've seen this superhero. I'm about to see a Disney Plus TV series about another superhero that I'm sure her armor will get upgraded when she gets Wakanda tech in it.
Well, she had it, and they took it away from her, so now she's trying to.
I need something else. Those things don't excite me. What does excite me, Taylor, I loved those Superman vignettes where they were letting the cast improvise as the characters.
Yeah.
Where Jimmy Olsen's like, this is my desk. This is where I watch videos. I was like, oh, how much trust James Gunn has in them to play and live in these characters and to let them do that. I'm excited for this world. What else are they teasing about?
So, yeah, I mean, let's just get right to the meat and potatoes, I guess. So Fandango announced last week that Superman has so far pre-sold any movie in 2025 so far. And this was right off the heels of them saying Fantastic Four is the biggest seller of the year. And then they're like, wait, Superman beat it by a country mile to the point now where
every time I see Fantastic Four trailers, it makes me want to see it less.
It does to me too. I don't know. I've heard so many things about this film. Like you and I, we grew up and we liked the X-Men, we liked Spider-Man, but we each had our niche. You loved the Fantastic Four. I liked the Defenders. I liked those characters, the side ones. You were really big into Fantastic Four, and I remember you dragged me to see the movies in theaters because you were like, we got to see these. And then the whole time you're like, they're rushing it. He shouldn't have turned back to human so fast. This is too fast. They need to take their time. And then I hear all the stuff behind the scenes about this movie, and they're basically characterizing every character wrong.
Yeah.
And Johnny is not Johnny. He's just an immature kid, apparently. He's not cocky. He's not brash. He's not arrogant. He's just immature. Apparently, Sue is the leader of the team.
That's what I heard, that she and the Silver Surfer, Lady Surfer do some stuff, and they're the ones that save the day.
Sure. Or do they save the day? Because they flee the planet anyways. So I have so many questions. But the more I see stuff, I'm just like, I've heard so many mixed things behind the scenes. Like some people loved it to pieces. Some people hated it. I don't know. But then you've got Superman blowing things out of the water. Every trailer is being met with thunderous applause. Each trailer is breaking more records of the last trailer being released. And this last one they did last week when they showed off the pre-sale, like we're going to announce, like buy your tickets today. When they did that, I swear I've never seen a movie that was more like a comic book popping out on the screen than Sin City. Like the shot where he punches that dude and the teeth bounce off the screen and you get that ting sound. I'm like, that's a comic book frame.
Well,
Like,
it's really interesting that you say that. I was watching the creator of Hellboy documentary talking about drawing in comic books and such. I think the problem with these, they are Marvel movies, but it's the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They don't look like comic books. Now, I know that they're not supposed to look like that, but Superman is not only hitting this like, oh, you bought the weekly trades, but also I think they're going to go deep lore, but also it looks like a movie you can bring your kids to, Taylor. Yeah. The dog is fun, but he doesn't seem too irritating. I think
there's a lot
everyone's going to bring their kids to it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of apparently it's PG-13 for language, and I know that Guy Gardner does make a giant middle finger with a projection, which so that's one thing that parents are going to be like, ah. But I've already enjoying the humor because it's not like over the top. Like there was a sequence where Guy Gardner's arguing with Lois Lane, and she basically says, "Your haircut is an affront to people," and I'm like, okay, yeah, this is actually funny, but this is actually something that a frustrated person would say to someone with a stupid ass haircut. So like, it's a lot of like in real universe kind of humor, but it's still humor, and it's not awkward, it's not taking itself too seriously, but it's not making itself into a caricature. The fights look fantastic. The cinematography looks pretty great. Like the fact that they've already finished the film and it's cut and locked is great.
Isn't it wild to celebrate that a movie is finished? There's no reshoots, there's no audience testing. He has a story, and here is the story. I hope you like it. We really worked hard on it.
So I'm pretty happy about that. Like it's I mean exactly what he said that they're doing with DC that they didn't do with DC before, or even Marvel did, where they say we're not greenlighting anything until the script is ready. And then once it's locked, we're not changing anything once we start filming. So once you go into filming, you know exactly what you're doing, and you don't have to go back and refilm the film and add entire sequences because it didn't work. So they're planning, like it's like the adage, like measure twice, cut once. They're like measuring 25 times, and then they get ready to make the cut, which is
okay. So then
what it should have been.
Right. Okay. But Disney is not going to let them drop production to 2 movies a year, 3 movies a year, and even the numbers they're pushing now to like give it the time that it needs. I don't think they want to, there's no break in all of this.
But see, that's the thing. So Disney Thunderbolts is officially a bomb. It didn't make its money back, which sucks because it was fantastic.
Which means it'll be streaming next week. It'll be streaming by the end of the month.
But they're writing so much on Fantastic Four right now. But they even pushed back Doomsday and Secret Wars like 6 months apiece. So they've already prepared and said we're pushing this out further. And outside of Ironheart, what else do they have coming out on Disney Plus? Like
the next Daredevil season,
right? And that's it.
Ahsoka,
but that's not Marvel. Marvel is like
sure.
What are they doing right now? They've got Fantastic Four and then almost a year-long drought until Doomsday comes out.
Do we get the X-Men season? Do we get the X-Men cartoon?
Apparently, it's deep in production, but they're nowhere near ready for release.
Man, because it's good, because they're letting it breathe and they're giving it what it needs.
Are they though? Because they fired the showrunner who made the first season as good as it was, and now people behind the scenes, people are saying this is not working. So there's a lot of stuff.
Yo, if it turns out that season 1 was all that guy's vision, then you grab him by his nice little nipple tats and you pull him back over here because he gave us the action we wanted to see out of the X-Men.
He made Cyclops not a loser, and he gave him the coolest superhero landing that show has ever had.
As we're talking about Marvel things, can I just put a little asterisk? Let's do a new paragraph. Let's go back to video games. Taylor, what do you think about that Arc Systems Marvel fighting game?
I have always wondered why studios, like these big companies, don't hire people like that to do these things. And then they did this, so I'm like, okay, well, Marvel, you push me away with your crappy movies, but you pull me back in with the game that I've wanted for a long ass time. So, sorry. It looks fantastic. It looks like I want all of those things.
It looks super fantastic. I think though the only not disappointing. I think you and I aren't going to like the cast because I think
No.
if people keep, I'm seeing fan lists and stuff. You need to look what is in production right now.
Yes,
Those are the characters that are going to be in the game.
That was actually why Marvel versus Capcom 3 wasn't as big for people. Was
The
because
Infinite
Marvel,
one. Yeah.
Yes. Marvel has this thing where they're like, we want to cross produce all of our stuff. We want to build experience and exposure for all of these characters. So here's 10 characters you have to use. Do not deviate from this list.
Yeah, I think big three are going to be there. I think Hulk is going to be there. Not that there's anything wrong with these characters. I like these characters, but like Taylor and I would see a game filled with X-Men characters, and that would be fine. We're going to get like maybe 3 X-Men, I think.
Maybe tops.
Okay, well, listen. Do you consider Deadpool X-Men?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he's going to.
Deadpool's got to be there. Wolverine's got to be there. They already showed Storm, so maybe we get one more girl.
Maybe.
Oh.
Or they could even say like, oh, Miss Marvel, she's a mutant, and then that could be the 4th mutant.
Maybe.
But nobody wants Miss Marvel because
no one wants her.
The show is good. She is fantastic in the role, but they have squandered her so badly by trying to force feed that character down everyone's throat that people are just sick of her.
I thought she was there. She's got her big stretchy hands.
Yeah, she's there. That's what I'm saying. Like, but it's like Marvel fans don't really want her anymore.
It's also wild that you came out with a stretchy girl when you're literally doing a Fantastic Four movie. Now, I think Fantastic Four is going to be in this game as DLC, not part of Launch 1. But like, why not do Reed Richards? Why not give us... He's a character that every time we see him on movies, he looks weird. He will look great in a video game.
Especially with one stylized like this one.
Definitely. Yeah. Okay. Back to Superman news. Did you tell me that maybe Batman's in the movie?
Maybe not in this movie. There's always been these long-standing rumors that he's going to be teased at the end of the film or whatnot, and whether or not that's real or not is whatever. But James Gunn has had multiple interviews this past week, one with GQ, one with Rolling Stone, and he has basically said verbatim, the script for Wonder Woman is being written, and the script for Batman is being written right now. So they're ready to go on making those two their next priorities. Warner Brothers has already said that their main focus on this new DC universe is Superman, Supergirl, Wonder Woman, and Batman. And they want to get those 4 characters right and perfect right out the gate.
What do you think they do? What Wonder Woman movie would you want to see? I feel like we need to see her against other superheroes and villains, not necessarily just the magic ones.
Right. I mean, it's one thing to do the thing right off the bat and just put her against like Cersei or like Cheetah or Ares or all the stuff that like the very obvious ones. But Wonder Woman is a character that you can't really do the same way that you did it in the DC universe. You can't pull her out of World War I and then have her just wandering the earth for the last 100 years, just hiding. So if you're going to reintroduce Wonder Woman, you got to do it differently. So you can do a modern take and have modern day Steve Trevor land there. And then just like the comics, the actual inspiration from the comics, not the she steals him and then returns him home, but like the queen is like, we have to do the tournament of champions to return this man back to Earth. Who's the champion that's going to represent us in their quest to return him? She wins the tournament. Begrudgingly, her mom says, okay, go for it. And then whatever he was running from, maybe not Ares, maybe something else.
That's a pretty good movie. That's a pretty good first act. And then we get to see all the weapons that she won, go use them in the big city.
Yeah. I mean, it's really hard to retell Wonder Woman's story when you've already told it right the first time. So I think what James Gunn is doing with Superman by just saying this is a year 3 story, like maybe just do that with her.
Yeah, we just see her fighting dinosaurs and we find out.
Yeah, I will always say that this is my template for the best way to introduce a character's backstory without making an origin film. Do the Incredible Hulk intro, where the music is playing to a montage of the origin and then cut into the movie happening. Just do something like that where you don't need to show everything into 45 minutes. Do a 2-minute montage and just jump right into it.
Will the Wonder Woman movie go before the HBO show?
So the HBO show Paradise Lost is a prequel set like 1,000 years ago. So regardless, it could matter, it couldn't matter, we don't know. But I think one thing they probably could do differently this time around is not make her the offspring of Zeus. Make her made of clay, like she was in the original. That she is a gift from the gods and she's made of clay. Just do that.
And then with Batman's script, they're working on it. Do we know how far along they are?
So James Gunn is currently working on the script of The Brave and the Bold with the unnamed writer, and they apparently are going on really far on it. But the current rumor is that when James Gunn was asked if he's working on a Superman sequel, he said, kind of, yes. It wouldn't be particularly a Superman movie, but it's
Batman.
Yeah. So, oh my God, my cough. So the long-standing rumor is that the next follow-up is going to be World's Finest. And it's going to be basically Warner Brothers saying, we had the right idea, we just didn't do it right, so let's do it correctly this time, and let's not make Batman and Superman hate each other for 2 hours and then be buddies in the last 20 minutes. Let's make them work together begrudgingly the whole time until they realize that they're best friends.
And also, The World's Finest isn't the B story of... I'm thinking of the other movie where Robin and Superboy team up, or is that also...
That's the Superboys.
Okay, great. Okay.
No, this was actually... So James Gunn said multiple times that he's basing a lot of this universe off of the comics and the DC animated universe. And I still say the World's Finest animated special that they did to reboot the Batman show is a great way of doing it.
Yeah.
Lex cannot make kryptonite. He cannot find any more. It's gone. Joker has a stockpile. He hires Joker to bring it to him. Batman follows Joker to Gotham. They team up to stop Lex and Joker from killing Superman with a warhead size of kryptonite. So you have a very simple premise to make Batman and Superman team up. And
I can't believe we're already talking about who gets cast for new Joker, because they have to play off of
whoever they cast as Batman.
We have to see what's his name's Lex is like before we can figure out what an over the top Joker is going to be like.
Or they could just tone it down a little bit. I don't know. I mean, we don't need a Jared Leto over the top Joker again. We don't need a Heath Ledger over the top Joker again. We just need Joker as, I mean, on paper, what they had with Jared Leto could have been great if they didn't go nuts with it and say, this is Joker after 20 years of being jaded and crazy.
But it wasn't. So let's go from there. Do you have Harley Quinn show up in that movie?
I think they need to let Harley Quinn rest a little bit. I think DC latched so hard onto the popularity of Harley Quinn that she's now become overused. I think they need to let her go a little bit.
And I just think that I also think Margot Robbie gets a lot of shit, but I think the only reason those movies are watchable is because of Margot Robbie.
Right. So I think they need to figure out something, but you don't need to have all of the rogues right off the bat. But the current rumor is that the big plan is that they're having Superman come out, Supergirl, then they're going to do a World's Finest, and then you're going to go into Superman's straight sequel, then into Clayface, The Brave and the Bold. You have three projects to Batman within a couple years. We already know that the Titans is already moving forward, and that's going to be a Robin-centered project. So they're really banking a lot on Superman and Batman being the main focal points this time around without wasting any time on the fluff.
And what's funny is whenever this Bat year happens, Pattinson's Batman will also happen. So it'll feel like a deluge of Batman stuff. Just remember, everybody, that for the 3 years we did have Batman, it's going to be coming, but it's not going to be.
You're going to get
yet.
it all. And the thing is, James Gunn also debunked the whole myths and rumors that the script for the Batman Part 2 was already done and turned in. He said, no, it's not ready, but he told people to lighten up and let Matt Reeves do his thing. And I've said it multiple times. Matt Reeves has had a very long-standing family issue happening. We just got to give him patience and let him do it. Like, the studio is giving him the grace to say, you take your time and it goes with you. This is your project. We're not taking it. And I
also feel that Matt Reeves now has had a lot of time to think about this. And when he decides to put it on paper, it will be epic. But he just
No,
hasn't done that yet.
he's got a lot of it already on paper. He's just not finished. He's almost not quite George R.R. Martin, like where he's just like taken 20 years to write the last chapter. Like, no, he's almost there, but he's had
Taylor, do you buy into the 4-month rumor that we have to wait the 4 months and we'll find out if that book's coming out or not, and that he went and saw his publisher, so we might get that book?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. But I don't know, man. I am just like, we'll see what happens.
Okay.
But other news, Transformer 1 is not getting a sequel. The director said Paramount has no desire to make any more, which is a bummer because it was good, but it also was a major box office flop. Over this past weekend, Man of Steel turned 12. Batman Begins turned 20. That made me feel really old. And Batman Forever turns 30 today.
Batman Forever. What a movie. What a cultural touchstone that movie was.
Also, I wanted to show this to you, Michael, because I want to make you aware of this because I am still excited about this thing. So, Masters of the Universe has wrapped filming, and to announce the wrapping, they shared a picture of He-Man in silhouette form. And it takes all of 30 seconds to jack up the lightning to say, okay, yeah, it's He-Man. They didn't give him the furry diaper. They gave him like the Wonder Woman skirt, which is fine.
It's fine. He shouldn't. That sword looks so good.
It looks so good.
The sword looks so good.
I've seen a lot of stuff behind the scenes of this film. Everything looks pretty solid. Like Trapjaw is green and has the big red ass jaw thing on his face. Skeletor is purple and gross. And like every character looks exactly like you want them to look. Cool. And I'm really jazzed for this film.
Well, Jazz is a transformer, which means you're never getting him again, but that's okay. He-Man's on the horizon. Anything else we need to tickle with everyone now that we're back, baby? We're back in the saddle.
I don't even know. It's been a month. What have we missed?
So many things. Listen, don't worry about it then. We can recap another time. We barely touched the surface, but
the Switch 2 is pretty cool.
Yeah, you're playing it. You're playing that. You racing around the world.
I am racing around the world, and I have. It's really hard on 150cc. It's really easy on everything else, but the max setting is just stupid hard.
You got to grind the walls. You got to grind the thing. You got to hop. You got to hop off a cow.
So bad. They cheat. I hate them. I hate them all. The new Gundam show has gotten insane.
I'm behind on the new Gundam show.
It's not a reboot. It's like I have to. It's connected to the original show.
I gotta watch it.
Parallel timeline that interweaves itself with the original show, and I'm like, I was not ready for this. This was not on my bingo card today. What?
I fell behind on Vigilante. I got caught up on that. I've been watching The End of the World. There's just been stuff that's been busy. LA was on fire. We were watching it.
Yeah, lots of stuff is happening. Stranger Things 5 comes out this year, and that's the end of a chapter of our lives.
I can't believe Stranger 5 is ending. I can't believe Squid Games is coming to an end as well. That I'm excited for. What was the other thing? There was like another
Hill's coming back.
Yeah.
Look at him. Look at Bobby. He's all old now. Look at that.
Peggy looks better though.
Yeah, she aged well.
She aged really well. Hank
looks like she lost some weight, and then Bobby got it all, but also gained a few inches. I love the premise behind the show. Like, do you know what they're doing? So Hank left Arlen for like 2-3 years because he got hired by like Saudi Arabia to do a bunch of like propane stuff over there because they realized that they didn't have enough to retire, and taking this job for 2 or 3 years was going to give them their nest egg to retire. Great. So he leaves the country for a couple years, comes back, and now he's dealing with the country in its current state after being unplugged from it for a couple years.
I love it. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be great.
I love the idea, and it's just, I'm ready. August is like August something. Can't come soon enough. I want it already.
Soon enough.
But Michael, take us home.
Well, thank you for being here with us, everybody. Speaking with Taylor brings me a lot of joy. It's one of the things of the bright, shining parts of my week. If we are a part of the things that bring you joy, then head on over to the patreon.com/theculturednerd. If you would like to become one of our wonderful patrons. If you're watching this on the internet, please feed that algorithm like comment, subscribe, share this with somebody if this is a conversation you think that they should be a part of. Question of the week: what do you want to see in this Batman Superman's Most Wanted, World's Finest? What are they doing? What would you want to be sprinkled in there? Taylor Murphy is your host. I'm Michael Santel. I'm your co-host. Drink water, eat food, take care of yourselves out there, and we'll see all you kids and cats next time.
And next time will be next week, not another month from now.
Next time will be next week, like a regular show.
Like a regular functional show that doesn't have issues or life-altering things like birthdays and finals and riots.
It should be boring. We should be boring people by next week. We'll see you all next week when we're boring again.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.